background noise got louder. You didn't really get louder.
And we are live.
Hey!
Hey guys, Thunder E here from Board at Work, and welcome to our weekly hangouts. Of course, I'm joined with my usual fun hosts. We have Mr. Juan Magnell from Some Gadget Guy. How's it going, man?
Hey, everybody. West Coast represent. I got some coffee. Let's do this.
All right, and next up is Sam, Mr. AKA Black Iron _ Man. What's up, man?
I don't have coffee. That seems like a gross oversight.
It's like hours later where you're at. How are you not already coffeeified by
I
now?
know.
How is that a thing? That shouldn't be a thing, Sam.
I'm disappointed in myself. Right now.
I'm disappointed in you on your behalf.
Yes, it should be. And next up is Warren Bowman from BW1. How's it going, Warren?
It's going all right. I don't think you guys can hear me, though.
It's echoey.
I kind of hear you. It just sounds really echoey now. There's not as much background noise, so that's progress?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, Warren's he's having some mic issues, so he's trying to fix that out while we continue this hangout. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
You might want to download new sound drivers. Might be the case. You might want to update your drivers.
Yeah.
What are you on, like a Sound Blaster Audigy? Sound Blaster 16? Is that...
No.
That's a joke. That was really old.
Really
old creative cards, and they'd have that breakout box that went into the front of your PC.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys hear me any better now?
Still the same.
Still the damn way.
Still the same. All right, let's get the show on the road. So this week, Microsoft. I am here.
Brian.
Sorry.
Probably for the best.
So this week, Microsoft released Windows 10 technical preview.
Which you like that?
When you stop doing, I'll keep muting you.
Well, that means you can hear me, so it's fixed.
All right. So anyway, Microsoft released Windows 10 technical preview. They announced Windows 10 instead of Windows 9, which we thought was going to be 9 or something along a different line. So anyway, have you got to try out Windows 10 technical preview? Your thoughts, all that fun stuff. We'll start off with you, Sam. Thoughts on Windows 10.
So I tried out Windows 8.2.
It's 6.4 actually.
You took my joke.
Sorry.
Joke.
6.423 or something like that.
But I'm saying technically the release should be 8.2, not 8.1, not 10. It's a very subtle, very obvious, but very subtle changes to what Windows 8 already does. It takes away a few things that we used to see in Windows 8. It adds a few things, like the start bar, which we've seen on prior versions of Windows, but does it in a very different way. I'm still trying to get used to it. There are a few things that are tough to kind of get used to. Like, I don't know why they made a few of the decisions. They could do a few things better, but overall, it seems pretty stable. I'm like, why are they waiting a year to release this thing? You know? But it's pretty nice. I like it so far.
All right. How about you, Warren?
So far, it's been a pretty good experience. Literally, it's Windows 8 with them just improving and adding the start menu, and just cutting off the edges of the menu icons and giving everyone different animations, and then just kind of improving everything. Like the only thing they put out of it was multi-desktop mode. That's like the biggest thing that they changed. Everything else is just Windows 8 all over again. And by the way, if you watch my latest video, I made it look like Windows 8, like that again. The start screen didn't disappear, so you can switch between the two of them. But it's impressive so far. I mean, it's nice. It's just this is them rebranding it and repackaging it as something else. Add a couple of new things and throw it out there. They've been doing this for Windows Phone for about 3 or 4 iterations. They'll be doing it for Windows Phone again soon. But they've been doing it forever. Just let's reintroduce something that we already have done. Throw a couple new things into it and make sure we get a positive spin on it this time.
And what about you, Juan? I know you said you haven't actually got to install it, but just
Yeah, I haven't
thoughts.
installed it on any systems yet, but it's exactly what we've been talking about with sort of branding issues. You know, what Sam said with this being Windows 8.2. Uh, we run into this issue where Microsoft changes enough that it pisses people off, and then they have to fix things by calling their products different names. So I mean, it's just like how Windows 7 was really Windows Vista point 2. You know, like it cleaned up some of the issues in Vista, but it really wasn't a different operating system. We just called it something different so that you wouldn't associate it with the previous product. They
Yeah.
needed to get away from the name Windows 8, and we all know that it's really Windows 8.2, and Windows 8.1 has actually been a fine OS. I mean, it's still sort of struggling from the branding problems that the name Windows 8 has had. You can definitely see their focus on enterprise and corporate customers, where you have a bunch of businesses. You probably have a bunch of businesses that still haven't moved off of Windows XP, and they're worried about like retraining their workforce, which is always a frustrating conversation to have when you're a techie and not corporate. You know, like because
Mhm.
we want to push the envelope on things, and they're looking at, well, what's the most conservative way that we can run spreadsheets? You know, like very, very different audiences when you start getting into those kinds of conversations. So I'm actually not excited or thrilled or happy that the start menu is back. I thought we were making progress in getting to a new UI and a new interface for Windows, and this kind of feels a lot like that return to Windows 7. Like all of the new features in Windows 10 are really returning us to features that we had in Windows 7 and returning us to UI elements that we had in Windows 7. They don't really feel new. It's just sort of a newer implementation that hopefully won't wreck the experience for touchscreen users. So it's really like, you know, the second I fire it up, I'm probably just going to return to the start screen like Warren showed us on his video, because it that really hasn't done a lot for me. And most of the new PCs that I'm investing in, I'm looking at ways to incorporate touchscreens, even on desktops, where you have to reach over the keyboard and get to your screen. I'm still a lot more excited about Windows with touch than I am Windows with the start menu.
Okay. I'd say in my experience though, yeah, we know the start screen hasn't gone anywhere, but I think you would like it more, Juan. I know you're saying just because you haven't tried it, because this is the same thing that happened to Sam. Sam said the same thing. He's like, you know, the start button is coming back, and then you realized all they seriously did was they took the start screen and they shrunk it into the start
Yeah.
menu.
Well, I'm not saying, I'm not saying I'm
when
not
you-
going to like it, and I'm not saying I think that's a problem. I'm just saying this is Windows 8.2. These are
Oh, yeah.
refinements. It's not like a new operating system, and I don't think people should be overly surprised when it functions very similarly to the way that Windows 8 did. It's just the few elements that they're really trying to hype up and they're really talking about, you know, shrinking the start screen down to a start menu. To return the start menu is still just a start menu. So,
I mean,
you know, like it's not really an
That's a-
exciting feature. It's
that's
a return to a UI element that we've all been using since Windows 95.
yeah, I mean, but the thing is, this is that the argument is that the honest truth is that people are not ready. I mean, as much as we want to, you take Apple for instance, they have not changed anything on OS X. I mean, it's very incremental. So just to show, even iOS 8 is the same as original iOS as far as I'm concerned. It just is flatter in look
Oh
than
yeah.
anything else.
And-
So
So
many people complained about that. So many people complained about that.
I mean, and people just complain they went from texture to flat.
and I think it's a really difficult line for any company to walk, because you can't really expect your audience to change their behavior. But Microsoft is in the unenviable position of needing to kind of kill the PC market to make the new PC market, because Apple's not going to do it. And I don't know what else is. I mean, Chromebooks are an interesting side compromise, but I don't think that they're the best, especially like workstation grade or productivity devices. So, you know, what does that leave Microsoft to do? They don't have a tablet in the race right now, and we're starting to see Windows 8 actually start to build a little momentum. Like my wife just got that new Toshiba, and we got it on special. It was like $100. And so for $100, she has a full Windows 8.1 netbook in an iPad mini form factor, and she friggin' loves it. You know, so that's the new era of Windows PCs as far as I'm concerned. These hybrid and convertible models that can do multi things. She can play Angry Birds on it when she wants to. She can live her life out of Excel spreadsheets when she needs to. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Live out of Excel spreadsheets.
Right? I mean, but, she's already talking to her IT department at work. Like, how can I VPN with this? Because I don't want to carry the humongous laptop that you guys gave me. I've got this really cute little tablet thing that's going to get the job done with my Bluetooth keyboard. Like, that's a new era of crossover computing that Windows 10 doesn't really seem to impact very much. Like, it doesn't really have much influence over how she's going to be using that device. And it was because she had to buy hardware purpose-built for Windows 8. She couldn't have that same experience using the old Windows 7 monster 15-inch laptop that she had from work. That wouldn't have benefited Windows 8. But now on this new hardware, she can really see the benefits of having a touch-optimized OS, and returning to a start menu, returning to Windows 7 elements isn't really going to do anything for her. She's going to do exactly what Warren did and flip it so that it is a Windows 8 style experience on that. She's not going to play with the desktop on something that small.
Well, I think on that aspect, yes, I do agree. But again, like Sam was saying, why is it going to take a year? Oof. Why is it going to take a year for them to release it? I mean, it's really the integration across the board.
That's what I think it is. I think it's their multi-screen platform is going to take time to work out, because everything we saw in the Windows 10 announcement was this is how it's going to appeal to desktop and mouse users working at large Fortune 500 companies where they've got to IT support hundreds, if not thousands, of PCs to cubicles. That was really the big excitement. It wasn't, this is how we move computing forward. It was, how do we appeal to people that are stuck in the past?
Well, I think Windows has a track record of basically making UI changes over several iterations of its operating system. Right? You can look at the UI changes that happened between '98 and XP, or 2000 and XP. XP had that almost very friendly UI system with the bright colors and everything to try to get people more interested in it. It kind of worked. Now they stepped away to kind of get more of a mature UI with 7, and that's with, I would say, with Vista, and that didn't work too well. People didn't like the way Vista was originally implemented, especially with other things having to do with drivers. 7 came in and cleaned that up a little bit. Now we've had Windows 8, very different UI kind of language, and we got 8.1 to clean that up, and now 10 seems to be what I hope will be what people would actually want to buy into. The functionality of Windows, like you mentioned, is definitely there. Windows, the really amazing thing about Windows 8 is it didn't break a lot of things that Windows 7 set in place. So if you could VPN to your company using Windows 7, you could do it with Windows 8. And I actually tried that and it worked perfectly. And I haven't tried it on Windows 10 yet, but once I installed Windows 10, the only things that didn't work for me right off the bat was just my ATI drivers. That's the only driver I had to install because it didn't give me the full resolution allowing for widescreen. That's it.
Gotcha.
Well, that's because you didn't have those drivers. See, I had a different case because I have 2 machines with ATI drivers, so all those settings were backed up. So once I installed it and I restored, it actually installed all my drivers for me from that. So like I said, it does carry a lot of elements from Windows 8, which of course it is Windows 8 anyway, fully into Windows 10 technical preview. I was impressed that at least, I mean, for me, I did a gaming video and the games ran, except DirectX 11 was having some issues, so you might want to turn it off. I guess just because DirectX 12 is going to launch with Windows 10, so that might be just a case there. But I was able to run my games well once I turned off some DirectX 11 features. So I think it would be interesting to see how it comes now. I know we've seen some of the look of how it look on tablets purely. Microsoft demoed their continuum mode, which is when you take off a keyboard, it will tell you if you flipped your yoga or something like that, and it's literally the start menu experience with just the start button on the side, like that there, and I'm like, yeah, all right, fine. I mean, nothing has changed at all. It's them just, like you said, going back and adding something that people go, oh yes, Windows. That I think that's the problem. they faced here was that people's mindset of Windows was that it was really in tune to that, and the fact that you're hearing all this praise there in there, which will lead me to my uselessness of the week. I want.
Oh, let's just jump into the uselessness.
Hold on, but the funny thing is that when you see in most future cases, more people use the taskbar than anything else, and this is one of the reasons why in Windows 7 they started pinning jump lists and all those things like that, because most people just push shortcuts right at the bottom and never touch the start menu. Outside of literally, they could have just put this start button here and put the little search thing where you can just search for something. You can just go whack to search for something on the network.
But you know the problem with Windows 8, the problem people had with Windows 8 was the switching of screens. I kid you not. It's when they saw a desktop, they understood that. When you hit that icon and you switch to the other side, you're going, what? That's what people just didn't get. And again, Microsoft did a poor job. We all know Microsoft did a poor job of telling people that, oh no, this is just an extension of the same thing. But they didn't get that. No. So when you squeeze into a start menu, start button, and it goes, oh, okay, these are just my applications in here. It makes sense. It's almost like opening your app drawer in an Android device or iOS device. But the thing is, when you go to the start page or start menu, then you now slide down to your app drawer again. So it was like 3 screens, and people were going, I didn't get that. That's the problem they faced. Was that it was just an extension of a screen. But to your point, Warren, I think that the best thing they added was the task button, right?
The best thing they added was they enhanced on the task multitasking with the taskbar button there at the bottom, and allowing you to have multi-desktops as well.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, all of Windows innovations are all generally involved inside that taskbar there, because they found, and this was true, people that had Windows XP, when they needed shortcuts, they figured out put all the little icons right at the bottom, and then they would have the taskbar kind of at the top, but it would overload because they'd have so many icons and then so many apps running at the same time. So they just merged it together, so your icon was also where you would click to see where your apps are. You could choose to unmerge those if you wanted to, but you could see it right there. You can highlight and click and go through. And now the third thing that they did to it was like, all right, we're giving you the same thing again, but this time we're going to give you multiple desktops so you can just jump between the different desktops to go through. All the all of it right there. People don't realize it because they don't realize subconsciously that's the main thing that they're using. The whole start menu and icons and things like that is just a visual in the end of the day. It's a visual.
Yeah, true. But when you don't tell people how to do it properly,
right, and that's always been Microsoft.
And the hilarious thing is they don't even need these stupid laptops. They could have cut half this thing off and just had a jump list with the documents and quick little things and that all important search everywhere thing. So if you're using it in work and you need to get the shares, you can just manually just type in shares to get to where you need to go to, or if you're an IT person, you can go command, you can go run. That's all you needed, and everything else.
Search everywhere. What should have been in your wellness talking about. But whatever.
But that's the funny thing, because they got the search icon right here on the side, and I'm kind of like, that's for searching on the web. I say, no, just make the search for the computer, and a little prompt comes up, and you type in it, and it runs, or it goes to whatever file explorer it needs to go to.
No, it searches both on your computer, and it gives you options on one.
But I also think that's sort of antithetical to the way that a lot of XP users probably use their PC, and I think that's really the biggest problem Microsoft ran into is if you go to someone's house and they save everything to the desktop with shortcuts and files upon files upon files on their desktop, asking them to learn how to search is a big deal, and Windows 8 really favors that search experience where I just hit the start button and I start typing something and stuff pops up and I can go either to the web or to stuff that I've stored locally, and I think that's easier, but it's also sort of like when we were teenagers, or like now in my office is trash, but I know where everything is. It's sort of the XP experience for a lot of people is my desktop is trash, but I know where everything is. So now moving to that new start screen is again, it's antithetical to the way that they use Windows XP, because they're asking me to hide things or organize things when I usually just save everything to the desktop.
Which is so damn annoying.
Yeah. Oh.
That's the case. But anyway, so.
But speaking of damned annoying, don't we have a uselessness for the week?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the article back again, but it's from our good friends at The Verge, and they had
I'm
an
sure
article.
it's another example of very even-handed journalistic style.
They had an article about Windows 10 bringing the start menu back and how that is now a terrible thing when they were the ones who were basically championing that should come back.
Why did
Of
you
course.
guys keep? Why do you?
I think what happened is they listened to me and then they just got stuck. You know.
So I think
was looking for
their
that,
site
just couldn't
deals
find
with
it.
a certain amount of confirmation bias for a particular reader on the internet, and that we maybe.
Oh, they've already written articles confirming the confirmation bias.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that was the partial uses of
Oh,
last week
God.
that I missed. Yeah, that one was just so. That was so. Did you send it to me or did I? You sent it to me, right, Warren?
I think I did. I think.
Yeah,
I, think I, saw
I read
this.
I read like 2 lines. I was just like, I can't do this.
This guy sucks. Like you suck, dude.
Quick question here from Brianna Skitty. Is Windows 10 better?
It just depends on what you need to do on your computer. I mean, Windows 10 will be the future.
It's gonna be a free update anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I personally think it's better. I think it's a straightforward answer, and I think it's better. The experience is better. The look of it is better. The idea that basically you're now doing, let's put it this way. If you're going from Windows 7 to Windows 10, you're entering a whole new ecosystem. If you're going from Windows 8 and you haven't gone to 8.1 and going straight to 10, you'll be very amazed that everything just follows you. And I think this is the beginning of Microsoft doing something really amazing where every setting you've made, every wallpaper, every
that is the
everything you set up and the way your PC is set up follows you. And I think that's, to me, automatically that makes Windows 10 way better than 8 because it's a continuation of the very logical idea that Microsoft has done, that whole unifying language that Microsoft took up with Xbox One, Windows Phone, and now the OS. Yeah, to me, hands down, Windows 10 is better than every Windows system that's come before it.
No, is it better than ME?
No! ME was...
I don't think anything can be better than ME.
Just for me.
Oh,
I'm gonna let you guys continue with that foolishness.
And I cried a little bit right after I saw it.
ME was yeah.
Oh god.
They have Windows Journal in here. This is hilarious.
Where?
They have Windows Journal and Windows 10. I'm just like going through where you guys are talking. There's a journal note writer.
Oh wow.
The Windows Journal, mind you, there's one note available, but there's a journal writer.
Yeah. They added quite a few things in there. One thing I do like.
This should like not see the light of day.
If you type an app in there, if you type like you're looking for an app and you don't have it installed, it would give you, the store option right away. Where it can be found in the store. I think that's actually pretty cool. But the first complaint I had about it once I opened it up is they need to unify that shutdown and lock up. No, they need to unify. The sign out and lock option with the restart and power down or shutdown option, right? Because that's in 2 separate places right now. They need to actually unify that. So there are a few things that can definitely tighten up, but right now it's. I think
Although mine says disconnect, update, and shut down, and update and restart. Mine says that.
Where on the power
button?
On the power button, yeah.
When I click the power button, it gives me 2 options: restart.
Well, I'm running it now.
When I
Let's
click
see.
the icon, it says.
Did you do an update?
I'm doing an update now.
Did you try turning it off and on again? Is that maybe the problem?
Oh, maybe.
No, mine gave me separate too.
Mind you, I'm using it in a VM environment, so.
It shouldn't be different though.
It should be different, but yeah.
But anyway,
how many times do we have that kind of conversation though? It's like, oh well, that shouldn't be different. Oh, it's totally different.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Apple has an iPad event on the 16th. A new iPad Mini.
See this face? That's how much I care.
I mean, so unlike when we started seeing dummy units and dummy models for the iPhone 6 and the iPad Mini and stuff like that, are we expecting anything significant to change? It's really Apple's been playing their hardware game so conservative lately. What?
No, not expecting anything to
It
change.
will be thinner and bendable.
Oh, we're not gonna get into will it bend. Have you noticed like will it bend is the new will it blend? I mean that
Yeah.
bend on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't. There's nothing other than what Apple Pay coming to it. That's it, right? And it's gonna be thin.
Oh, so I mean like
It'll probably have NFC.
Hey, and NFC
yeah, I
for
was gonna
Apple
say with
Pay.
Apple
Yeah.
Pay, yeah. But do you
To
think
the
it'll have
penny.
Touch ID?
Do you Touch
Yeah.
ID? Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
sure.
eventually
Definitely.
will show up on there. And then they'll probably have better screens. That's about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, but again, it's that tablet market of, you improve specs and it becomes minimal, more minimal, and what else are you gonna do with it?
But that's what I was kind of curious is whether or not they'll actually change the hardware design or if this will look like because I don't see where they would change the Air especially.
Yeah, the Air,
Even
unless it becomes Freon, hydrogen, something lighter than air.
right.
I don't know.
New iPad lighter than Air.
Yeah. I mean, it's thin enough, right? I mean, how thin do you want it to
I
be?
think it's all towards Apple's master plan to start selling invisible devices. You go to the store and you open up your bag and you pay your money and invisible devices can That's part of Apple's master plan.
Yeah, and Lurod76 says another keynote in 2 languages. Bring it on.
I am doing really well learning Chinese by watching Apple keynotes. I'll have you know, Lou Rod.
You can do very well by listening to Samsung's keynote, and that's in English. Oh.
So yeah, we'll see what Apple has to offer on the 16th. As you can see, none of us are excited.
I'm always curious to see what Apple does. I always I don't think they've been doing a very good job of being our nemesis company of late.
That's true.
Well, I just and we've complained about stuff like this before on previous. We don't need to beat this dead horse, but it used to be there was always one feature I desperately wanted at the end of every single Apple keynote.
Nope.
And lately,
not for me.
Lately, there's not only that where there's not that one feature where it's like, oh man, I really wish I had that. It's wow, I've had everything that they've been talking about for a couple years now, and that's a precarious position for a company like Apple to be in while they're riding the wave of still being one of the most profitable companies of all time. I don't find that to be sustainable.
No, I mean, I think this year's iPhone event was a real eye-wakener for a lot of people, especially when you got casual consumers going, my Nexus can do that. My Galaxy already did that. Shit, right? HTC does. I mean, not us.
I left to get a Galaxy Note 3, and the iPhone 6 Plus is very similar to the Galaxy Note 3.
Yeah, exactly. So we will see. Maybe they might announce more things. They might tell us that, with the rumor that Beats Music is going to be either shut down, revamped, or whatever the case may be. Might be cheaper. Who knows? And then,
cheaper from Apple.
Yeah. I just threw that in there. And
by the way, just on the power options thing, I'm just playing around with it while we're talking about Apple because they have nothing of importance besides some iPads. But the shutdown, if I hit my power button and I'm in just regular mode on here, it shows 2 options. It shows shutdown, restart. If I click on my name, it says change account, lock, or sign out.
Yeah.
And if I actually go into enhanced session, which just enhances this a little bit, but doesn't let me go into full screen mode with it, it actually gives me I think a couple of other options with it. It gives me disconnect, shutdown, and restart because it treats it like an RDP session instead.
All right, so that's basically why we're seeing the different options.
So you need to click your picture to see one thing, and then the power button.
Yeah, I know, but that's what he was saying, that he'd rather have it in one place in the power option, just to log off and do all that in one, rather than because then for most users, if they want to log off, they might not know you have to click your voting face. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, Lou Rod says the new iPad will be on par with the Nexus 2013 version, and the world will be whole now.
I think Lou Rod's my spirit animal.
Spirit animal.
Spirit animal. Okay, moving on from Apple.
I mean, the Cora did debut, but this is not the entertainment section just yet.
HTC has an event next Wednesday, right, the 8th. And the rumors of, we know they're going to have an action camera. We talked about that already. But they also, it looks like they're going to have the HTC Desire Eye or One M8 Eye. And this will have a 13 megapixel wide-angle f.2 camera with dual LED flash. This is not Selfie King. This is Selfie Ultimate.
Well, but is it on the front face? Is that what we're thinking?
Yes, front face.
Megapixel on the front face, and then the duo sensor on the back.
13 dual at the back.
I think it's supposed to be 1313.
It's 13. Yeah. It's the same as the butterfly, because the new butterfly in Japan is 13 at the back. But basically it's focused on the front-facing camera. So,
all right.
all of you selfie addicts, this is the phone for you with a flash too, so you're in perfect lighting.
I think LG should release this with a note that says irresponsible use of front-facing flash results in this privilege being taken away from you. Because I know on the train in New York City, I'm going to see that one person doing the front-facing camera. I just know it's going to happen, really. And seriously, if that really happens, I would just take that phone away and be like, privilege is restricted. End of story. This is going to start a really bad trend. It sounds awesome.
I mean, we're going to start. The trend is already there.
Considering
flash,
but considering that Samsung's got that little 3.7 megapixel selfie they've been bragging about in front of their Note 4 and Note 4 Edge as well too. Good Lord.
This is this is equivalent to me with a 13, and if it's the same 13 as in the rear, this is equivalent of you taking like a DSLR. I'm just saying that kind of mindset, and just slapping it in front and say, go for it. Just go to town. Go to town.
It's nice to see that HTC is doing something different, and that's good.
Well, I just think it's going to be another one of those sort of megapixel arm races, but I am actually kind of happy to see companies looking at things like consumer behavior. A ton of people are taking selfies and posting to Instagram. This might be a feature that they are interested in. Nokia is doing it with the Lumia 735. HTC actually addressed this with the first M8. The front-facing camera on the M8 is a higher resolution than the rear-facing cameras are. So, that they would look at, we got a lot of criticism on the duo sensor, so now moving from the 4 ultra pixels to a more traditional 13 megapixel camera, why not just buy twice as many instead of trying to outfit the front with a 5 megapixel shooter is at least an interesting talking point in a world where a bunch of people probably use that front facing camera more than their rear facing camera.
Yeah, that's true. And the device is a design, and it's part of the Desire line. It looks like, so it's more of a plastic build, rounded edges, color options, that kind of stuff, altogether. So.
Well, and they turned a profit this last quarter, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
HTC's been clawing out of their issues following the One X. So I'll say this is a good deal as long as they're able to give LG and Samsung some competition in the Android space.
Yeah, true. Sorry, I just was reading Lou Rod's comment here for a second. I was like, huh? I guess he's referring to the Desire Eye. He says that's all. That's for all the nudes love. Yeah, Apple does it. So yeah, you want to take the selfie nudies? There you go. And you don't have to save in iCloud. You can save it wherever you want.
Totally. I mean, Dropbox,
Box.com, Google Drive,
Mega.
Yeah.
All kinds of options and opportunities for you to.
Micro SD card, maybe.
You want a sneaker net. We're talking about cloud solutions, son. I thought you knew.
Just saying. So yeah, that's HTC stuff. So anyway, the other thing too, we all got the Galaxy Alpha this week, and thoughts, guys. Thoughts on the Alpha. What are your thoughts on Samsung's little pristine gem, the Alpha? Kick it off for you, Warren.
Oh, why me?
Dude, you didn't start anything. Continue.
Yeah, I really like the device so far. It's when you pick it up, it has a nice, great feel to it. It's when I picked it up, I was like, this is really them saying, oh, iPhone 6, well, here's this. We can do exactly what they do, but in just nearly the same amount of specs, and make it smaller, thinner, lighter, and have a premium feel to it. This is definitely one of those devices that this is aimed at trying to be, I think, more of where you're trying to get iPhone users to switch over to Android, and this is the type of device that they might want to pick up. It's got a good camera on it. The metal frame feels good. The back feels good. The screen, it's 720p, and it's on a small side for us, but it is pretty nice displays with being Super AMOLED. It does look good and look vibrant, so it's not a bad looking display at all either. I think overall it's a really good device. I think a couple of things the problem is the price that they're presenting us with.
$199. Yeah.
$199 is just way too expensive.
That should
I thought it's $150 on contract.
That's still too much for this.
It should be $99.
It should be $99 or less, really. And
I disagree, but I'll say.
Well, they could. You gotta remember they're skimping on the battery in this. There's no SD card expansion with this, neither. Two things that you get more with another device, with other devices. The couple of things I think they could have saved money on was definitely, I don't think this needed to have the fingerprint sensor, nor did it need to have the heart rate monitor on it either.
Yeah.
And you could have taken that out, add the SD card storage, drop the initial storage to 16 gigs inside of here, and then add your micro SD as you wanted to add it. And then maybe even if you could fit OIS, and I don't think they could, but if you could fit it in there by moving that monitor out of there, then all of a sudden now you have a really compelling product at a much cheaper price range.
Okay, Juan, over to you.
So I disagree at pricing. So one, we just need to have that quick chat that Samsung sort of built the Android market up by talking about specs. So we are really specs obsessed when it comes to Android devices, because every other week there's a new monster phone coming out with the bestest spexists everists. So
Bestest specs everest?
Yeah, totally. Totes. So watching Samsung walk away from that to build out and design a more stylish device and trying to piggyback on the new design elements working for the Note 4. I don't know that they've nailed it, but it's a really charming experience, and I'm happy to see them walking away from their normal everything in the kitchen sink approach. Looking at the market, looking at what people are excited about with an iFix, you've got twice the storage of the base model iPhone 6. You've got a very similar screen to the iPhone 6. You've got metal construction on the sides where usually Samsung is all plastic all the time. You've got a better camera on the Alpha than you do on the iPhone 6. You've got the fingerprint scanner, which brings you to Touch ID. You've got the heart rate monitor, which I know we don't necessarily love. I haven't really used it on any of the Samsungs that I've used, and I'm probably not going to use it on the Alpha. But that is one of those features that someone might be interested in a phone with a replaceable or removable battery, which you can't get on the iPhone 6. Their target is the iPhone 6. They are targeting it with style and with design and with ergonomics, and I think they've done a wonderful job on a price point which not only matches but actually beats the iPhone 6. So if that's their site, they're not citing the Galaxy S5. If you want a Galaxy S5 and you want it $99 on contract, you can go get it right now. But if I had my pick, I'd probably choose the Alpha right now over the 5S, because not the 5S, the Galaxy S5. Too many numbers. Because the only feature that the Galaxy S has that I wish the Alpha had was waterproofing. And that's it. Everything else I find to be a comparable, if not better, experience. And it's one where you don't need to go and buy a memory card if you're looking at that model storage. So they got away from 16 gigabytes as the base model at a phone that's cheaper than most flagships launch. The screen is vibrant. It's crisp. It looks good. It's my favorite screen size. 4.7 inches is my absolute favorite screen size. I do wish it were 1080p, but I don't know that we've seen any AMOLED displays under 5 inches at 1080p, so there might be manufacturing or yield issues there. But all in all, it's been a wonderful experience, and I kind of like this new Note Mini line that we're walking off with, and I think it'll be a good complement to the rest of the Galaxy ecosystem.
Okay. I will respectfully disagree with you on price. in that aspect. I agree with you on everything, on all those things in terms of what they put into the device. But
the last thing I'll say. Oh wait, the last thing I'll say on price.
now he wants to cut me off.
No. Cut his mic. The last thing I'll say on price is it's the same thing that I got a little twitchy about when we would start comparing plastic tablets to metal tablets. You know, when we talk about design, we talk about shrinking stuff down. This is an impossibly thin phone. It looks phenomenal. It's got the metal edges. That comes with a price disparity. So bumping up the base model storage is usually $100 affair. We know that it shouldn't be, but when we're talking about the consumer market, going from 16 to 32 usually comes with a $100 price tag bump on it. And whenever you change build materials, aluminum's a more expensive material to make something out of. I mean, they can get away with yield on a flagship phablet like the Note 4. On this, I think it's a one-off line. It's a new line. They're positioning it to match that, and it would be kind of like saying, like, well, the Surface needs to be cheaper because it's got the same specs as something else that's made out of plastic.
I would
we're having the same
with
specs
that
conversation over design.
No, I hear you on that part, but I think what it is that if this was HTC making it, I can understand them making a 199. I put it also in the context of the company. Samsung can afford to cut some prices here. That's how I look at it.
Well, and they have. The M8 launched as a $200 on contract phone. This is launching as a $150 on contract phone.
No, 199.
It's 199.
No, it's not 150.
I'm pulling it up right now. I can get it for 150. I don't see what you guys are.
If it's 150, I haven't seen it at 150.
It might be 199 with a rebate or something. It's a $50 rebate.
Samsung Galaxy Charcoal Black 32 gig AT&T 149 on Amazon right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
149.
Then at 149, I'm fine with it. At 199, I wouldn't tell someone.
No. This phone is absolutely not a $200 on contract phone, but it's also not a $200 on contract phone.
No. I was going with the 199 price point. I wouldn't tell anyone.
It's 199 on their website, on AT&T's direct website.
Well, don't buy phones directly from carriers.
I'm looking at it right now.
I'll hook you guys up with my affiliate link right now, and we can all stop this crankiness.
Oh, Best Buy also have it for $149.99 actually. So.
Where?
Best Buy.
Yeah. Okay.
So Amazon will usually cut it down a little bit.
All right. So okay, at a 150 price point, I'm fine with it.
I'm still.
I think what this phone looks like is a very baseline smartphone. That's the way it feels like to me. It has some really great features. It's basically an answer to the iPhone. I think they're looking to stick it to the iPhone for $99. I think that'll be an amazing, price point and a great takeaway from any of this Apple's points, especially when given Benghazi saying, hey, guess what? We have this 4.7-inch phone, and it has basically all the features and all the same specs as the iPhone, and we're giving it away for $99 on contract. End of story. Who would really want to spend the money on the iPhone? This was a marketing ploy. We all knew it was a marketing ploy when it was announced. We all knew it was a marketing ploy, the day of release, but it turned into not a marketing ploy, but rather a way to, it feels like get more money from Android users who can't quite afford flagship.
No, this is honestly, this is priced at a flagship price though. This is one of Samsung's, let's see if this works, we need real world data. That's what this is.
It's totally an experiment on what.
And they don't care. They'll do it that way. I have a feeling though, the price wasn't necessarily set by Samsung. I have a feeling this was set by AT&T more so than Samsung. Because I'm pretty sure Samsung wouldn't have cared to just put this out for $100 and see what the hell will happen because they can afford the loss. But you got carriers that probably want to make some money off of this at the same time too. So, but it's one of those phones, like, I could see where they can eliminate a couple of things from this that it doesn't need at this level, and it can hit that $100 price point, and you put it next to the iPhone 6, which would be $100 more than it, and then boom, now you have that competitor.
It's the same issue though that I think we run into when we talk about Windows PCs, and how all too often I think manufacturers get burned by only playing the price card. the only way my PC can compete against a MacBook is that it's $600 cheaper. Is it as good? No, because it's $600 cheaper. Samsung, I think, in looking at sort of the fashion side, the consumers who will probably never watch our Hangout because they don't really care about these techie things, even though they live their lives out of technology, are going to be swayed by things like, well, the iPhone has a fingerprint scanner. Does this have a fingerprint scanner? Like that's exactly the kind of conversation they're going to walk into and have with someone at like a Radio Shack who's not really going to be able to give them as nuanced a reply on why this phone is $50 cheaper than that phone, but this phone has a giga on it that I really want, so that means it's not as good because it's cheaper.
But the thing is that if it's $100 less and all you're missing is a fingerprint scanner, I'm pretty sure that people can understand, like, do I want to pay $100 more for Touch ID? And I think that's actually a competitive advantage. They can say,
but we're talking about them setting their sights not on the Android market. The Alpha is not a response to the Galaxy S5. It's
no, it's not. But that's my thing.
Response to the iPhone.
But that's my thing. It's just like, what do you need the heart rate monitor for on this? What do you need?
And so on contract for $50 less than the iPhone 6, you get 4 more megapixels on the camera, and you have all of the other same specs matching almost.
Well, not if they go into an AT&T store, because the AT&T store is pricing it at $199. Like,
well,
if they go into it,
but
that's the argument.
Even if you match it, then it's for the same price. You get 4 more megapixels. It's if you're having that conversation with someone at the AT&T store and they're saying like, well, we've got this, but if you're looking at an Android and you want something super thin with a metal build, oh, and look, you can even pop the battery out if you ever want to replace the battery. That just nailed the iPhone at exactly the same price. That is where Samsung has set their sights. They are not trying to make another spec grab
but the problem
at
is
the Android flagship.
But the problem is it's just like that ain't Ralph though. It's gonna be that ain't iPhone. That's what that response will be at the $199 versus $199 price.
But Samsung needs to start having that conveation now.
But if a lot of their friends already have iPhones, and you're pricing this against that same iPhone, and that fashion group primarily uses iPhone.
And I'm not saying that Samsung, as I said before, I'm not saying Samsung has nailed this conversation, but if they're going to start moving market share, they need to have answers to things like the iPhone 6. The Galaxy S5 is not an answer to the iPhone 6.
And then also, don't forget, you have the iPhone 5S from the year before that's going to be.
Right, and the iPhone 5S for $50 less than the Alpha on contract if you buy your phone through Amazon or through Best Buy or probably through a Radio Shack will have a smaller screen and half the storage. So you can also make that argument too, where the Alpha is positioned really well against the 5S at the $150 on contract. Even the unlocked price is positioned really well against the 5S.
Okay, let us move away from all this Alpha discussion here.
but the only thing I'm trying to say is, like, again, what I want to congratulate Samsung on, even though I don't think they've nailed it, is they're starting to have a conversation about design and aesthetics outside of just we packed it with more stuff. And I think if they can continue to refine it, then these are updates that I'll want to see in a Galaxy S. These are updates that I think we'll see in a Galaxy Note. And that's where I really want to see flagship phones go, because we can't keep just saying, well, a premier phone means that we get 200 more megahertz on a quad core and an extra million pixels on the camera. That doesn't make the experience of using a smartphone better, but refinement will. If we can start polishing up TouchWiz, if we can start polishing up UI, if we can start polishing up the hardware experience, that's better. And the Alpha is the first step.
Are you licking your Alpha, dude?
Beta. It's the beta product.
You're already rubbing your face against it. We all saw that earlier. No one said anything, but we completely saw it.
No, I didn't, because you guys just kept on going on. So I was just like,
If only that had been full screen, so I could have screenshotted that.
What I think this really is going to be, though, it's going to be, you know how we have a Note 4 and a Note Edge. I would not be surprised if the S6 has there's a Prime and then there's an Alpha version, and it's a basis of what this is. Like, we get a bigger one, and then we get the one like this, and they start now introducing 2 phones within a product line now instead of just one. I have a feeling we're going to see 2 Galaxy S6 versions.
Well, we do know the Alpha is the basis of Samsung's feature design elements.
Mm-hmm.
The Note 4 literally is the Alpha Prime.
Yeah.
Pretty much. All right, so we have a couple of comments here from Blue Rod. He says, Sprint is shutting down WiMAX on 11.6.15, so upgrade your Evo lines now. That's information out there for anyone who's still left on Sprint.
Oh,
I think I have my Galaxy S, my Epic. So,
my Galaxy S2 Epic 4G Touch.
And then Lou Rod also says 4 people get facial hair cut in iPhones. Prepare for Beardgate next. Source is Phone Arena. I haven't actually checked that out, but I'm sure.
They get the fish. No, men with beards should learn how to like groom. Okay, I'm not blaming the iPhone for that. Shape your damn face. Groom it. Hey, damn.
Some people want to carry beards, man.
Hey.
But the
We're
beard.
gonna have a problem in Brooklyn with people getting hair pulled by iPhones. Okay, it's just hipsters are not gonna have a good time.
I'll make a razor case. Shave it.
All right, and this next topic here. This one is kind of for you here, Juan. Nokia Here Maps demoed their auto display. So basically, they demoed a display where you can actually have Here Maps on as a HUD or within in-car dash screens and things like that, which is pretty cool. It's one of the things that I also wanted to see more with augmented reality or things like that, where it helps driving and helps navigation, because looking at that screen on the left, on your right, there is kind of useless. I'd rather have something. To me, it is, because if you, especially you're driving the car with a GPS. If you're doing a long journey, you're not leaving the GPS volume on. You're basically going to be playing music or listening to something else. So you can't actually listen it here on the it cuts off your music and it's kind of muffled if people are talking in the car. But if the display's in front of you and you can see it, then it makes sense.
Well, and that's still been my biggest complaint about a lot of our auto solutions, is that they pull your eyes away from the road and make you focus inside the car. And so especially seeing like some of their ideas on like, changing your dashboard to incorporate maps and then bringing maps up to, say, an eye level position makes way more sense if we're not all going to be in self-driving vehicles. Yeah. And so the only thing that would, again, like where I get a little twitchy is are making these solutions overly proprietary. Thankfully, I know Here Maps, they're looking at going cross-platform, having iOS and Android versions. And so the first thing that I start thinking of is this would be an excellent solution to start building into a system like MirrorLink. If MirrorLink were partnering with Here Maps, then I think that would be great synergy in having a cross-platform solution for having very sophisticated mapping data, even stored locally in your car. So, you're driving in a state that you don't, you're visiting. You can download all of the maps to your car, not even have to worry about hitting your data. Or if, you don't have your powered on, you'd still have a mapping application directly from the head unit in your car. I think that would be phenomenal.
True. Any thoughts, everyone else?
No.
It's like, that's the most exciting story. Like that, but it's absolutely something I've been getting cranky about. It's the year 2014. We're quickly racing to the year 2015, and you still need to take your eyes off the road just to see how fast you're going. And we're asking people to interact with really sophisticated pieces of data while also trying to operate a motor vehicle. So anything that we can start doing to get away from that, very welcome improvements.
Yeah. Before we go to entertainment, a couple other things. Microsoft is suing Samsung for not paying its dues, suing interest. They're suing for $16-point-something million. And it came out that Samsung was paying $1 billion a year to Microsoft for coverage on Android.
1 billion?
Yeah, it was 1 billion.
1 billion, okay.
1 billion. Whew. Man, they were making. Wait, does Google actually make any money off Android?
No, not
So
from.
Microsoft was making more money off Android than Google.
Well, I mean, I don't know what kind of, Google will never tell you what their actual ad splits are.
No, not ad. I'm saying like basically.
No,
what I'm saying.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
totally,
but they know
no, they
what
don't.
Google makes off of the OS is really just, the data. It's really
Yeah.
how they can use that on advertising and also sell from business to business. So we don't know if
No,
Google
yeah,
or
true.
Microsoft.
But still, that's a lot of cash for not doing anything.
Ooh. I need to get into that deal. I'd say, you want to build an app for me and just go ahead and give me $1 billion every year.
Yeah, not gonna happen. Sorry.
And you wonder why Microsoft was like, yeah, Windows Phone. They
We
don't
can
really care.
subsidize every Windows phone out there.
Exactly.
Well, Windows Phone all of a sudden is going to be free for everybody. I'm like, why?
You're like, I just got a free Lumia 930. It's not
We
bad.
also understand why Microsoft probably wouldn't want to kill the Android market now, right? Because
Yeah.
there's so much money out there.
No. Why kill
Well,
what's
how come all their software releases on Android first? Where it releases on its own platform.
Yep.
Yeah, so why kill it in the first place? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So anything else in the tech arena before we jump into entertainment?
Let's talk some entertainment. Let's do it.
All right. So first entertainment news, SoftBank was first initially rumored to be purchasing DreamWorks for roughly about $2.53 billion. That looks like it's gone sour, and SoftBank just went ahead and invested $250 million into Legendary Pictures. Legendary Pictures, of course, well known for partnering with WB in making the Dark Knight trilogy as well as Godzilla. So any thoughts, guys, of SoftBank just diversifying its portfolio?
Yeah, I'm not really sure where their their long-term play is there. I think it's an interesting proposition watching companies start looking at entertainment, and I don't know what that means. It could be really interesting for sort of partnerships on distribution. Like, it'd be kind of cool if SoftBank products just had full access to all of these films, sort of Netflix style, and you could tap into that. But we've not seen any company land that, even companies that have hardware and entertainment in-house like Sony. So I don't really know.
That's just Sony not doing that.
Well, I know, but they're like one of the few examples we can point to. Like, it'd be like if HP had a movie studio, like Sony does. And we haven't seen any synergy between those various departments in getting content to people's hardware. So if SoftBank can work it out, I mean, if any company could, I guess SoftBank actually has a better chance than many others, but I don't know.
In terms of some of the other things, I'm just looking at the article here from LA Times. It says last year, SoftBank tried to buy Universal Music Group from French Vivendi. That didn't work out. SoftBank, so they've been trying to get into the entertainment side. Some of the things they also mentioned is that SoftBank wants to have that content directly on their devices for their consumers as soon as possible.
Oh, everyone does.
Yeah.
Everyone wants that, but no one has been able to land a deal where you can get that distribution set up easily.
I mean, Sony just doesn't do it for their own phones, so that's their own stupidity. I think SoftBank, just the way they've done business and how they try to carry things, is I think they'll be able to, at least in Japan, first of all, just have whatever Legendary makes appear on SoftBank phones.
Well, I mean, Godzilla.
Yeah.
Oh God! Don't remember. You guys got to remember something. iPhone users would get really offended if you do that. Just like they forced down a YouTube album on their iTunes, and they got really offended.
Well, it's so invasive. It's the most invasive thing that's ever happened.
Got
in the
free content, and I'm upset about it.
Right. It's like the worst violation of privacy that's ever happened on an Apple ecosystem. Wink, wink. iCloud nude selfies. Come on, you guys aren't joking with me on this at all.
Yes.
I am joking with you. At least me and Juan are going with it.
Right.
No. I was going to ask the question was it actually already pre-installed on the system, or did you have to go download?
Auto-downloaded.
Yeah, that's why. That's why.
And to hear people talk about getting a free U2 album was like it was the worst possible thing that could
why?
ever
Because
happen to them.
your mindset is this: YouTube's now a sellout to Apple, and then it just auto-downloaded this shit on my phone. I don't want this sellout album because I'm a hipster. I don't care.
No. You're absolutely right.
You're absolutely right. Doesn't matter if it's actually a good album.
Happened in the news in the Apple ecosystem. I'm sure the YouTube auto-downloading is not the most egregious thing that could have happened.
It is. I mean, no, I'm okay with my news on iCloud. The hell's
you're in shape. Come on.
Jesus Christ. Just putting down YouTube albums on my phone. Rubbish. Rubbish. But back to
That hipster
SoftBank.
face.
But back to SoftBank. I think it's a cool deal, though. I like the fact that SoftBank is not sitting down there. I mean, compared to any other carrier worldwide, these guys are just going out there and saying, "Look, we have cash, and let's do something useful with it." At least, the only unuseful part was they went and bought Sprint. Whoever gave them that breakdown must have been fired.
I told you guys already. It was basically like we couldn't take the cute girl to T-Mobile, so we went for her cousin who's not that pretty.
Oh, poor Sprint.
That's simply what it was. It's like someone mistakenly, oh yeah, we're buying T-Mobile, but we're spelling it Sprint. Oh my God, what have we done? Situation, but it just doesn't feel as though they wanted Sprint. It really doesn't. Cause
I think they just wanted to be in the USA market, and
no, yeah, I think they did, but I think T-Mobile, after that whole AT&T thing, whoever was doing their preliminary work for acquisitions basically said, no, don't go for T-Mobile. Sprint's a better acquisition.
No, don't.
Oh, that person probably got fired. I hope.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see, what SoftBank does with this. I mean, 250 million looks like with Legendary and the kind of movies they do, that's probably about 1.5 movies for now.
Yeah, but I think it's
no, that'll be directly this movie funded by SoftBank.
I think it will be way more interesting.
They'll be spreading it out over operation costs and everything else.
Yeah, true.
It will be very interesting to see the kind of infrastructure SoftBank starts investing in, because at the end of the day, just looking at what SoftBank is doing, and it kind of lines up with the interview that the CEO had not so long ago. It basically said America basically hobbles itself. Basically from basically providing users with great content and great connectivity at the same time. Why is it that you can create the content to get the content to your users? It's now a fight for connectivity. If they're buying music, if they're buying videos, if they're buying an ISP, I can see them basically start investing in companies or investing in their own infrastructure to deliver this content to users. And if they start doing that, I'm like, watch out Google, because they have the money to do it, and they're starting with a pretty significant user base. They're going to be generating their own content. It's going to be amazing if they decide to go that route.
I totally missed a couple of things here, which we know, and also some other things in the article. They talked about how this initial deal is going to be focused on the Asian market to push a lot of movies to Chinese audience, which is smart, makes sense. I also completely forgot that SoftBank just has a new influx of cash, because you know why? They own 30% of the biggest stock that just opened.
Oh,
yeah. They are rolling.
yeah.
So yeah, they I'm sure they're looking at it as time to capitalize on that. And then
it's time to basically go out there and invest in infrastructure and basically invest in markets that have a strategic as an outlook for the next 10, 15, 20 years down the road. I think this is what they're doing right now.
Yeah. Other entertainment news. Netflix announced that Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2 is going to come out exclusively on Netflix, and Adam Sandler signed a 4-movie deal contract to make 4 movies on Netflix.
What movie has Adam Sandler done before? I can't remember.
Really? Waterboy. Really?
Uselessness.
Was that the movie about?
All right, I'm about to
the guy who gave
Sam.
Stop it.
Sam.
Yell at Mike.
Uselessness.
I'm just saying, Adam Sandler news to me is like, maybe it would be nice if they gave it to Happy Gilmore Productions. So Adam Sandler movies, not movies for Adam Sandler, but rather the Happy Gilmore kind of production company to give Netflix some.
Well, isn't that really what they'd be doing? Like, if you give money, if you sign Adam Sandler for a deal, where is he going to produce the movie through? Is he going to produce it?
the movie
Netflix,
will
maybe?
be funded by all 4 movies will be fully funded by Netflix. Adam Sandler will get $50 million for starring in this movie, so he could get up to 20 if he becomes an executive producer on it.
And then also, if Adam Sandler is involved in the project, I seriously doubt he's not going to be a producer or
I think what
working
I'm
on the
trying to say
production
is
of.
I'm not as excited about seeing him on the screen as I am about seeing his production company put things out there.
Oh no, I'm not. I mean, it's not really the Adam Sandler angle that I'm excited about at all. It's that Netflix is getting into distribution, direct production of content that they will be distributing. So
Yeah.
just like with House of Cards, they will have way more leeway to produce content. Like House of Cards would never have made it on TV. It might have been okay on HBO. But the actual show, where in the first couple episodes this guy kills a dog to put it out of its misery, we never would have seen a scene like that on network or even expanded cable.
And now they've become a cable channel.
And they are. They're going to be the next
guess what?
HBO.
They're a la carte. So yes, you basically pay for everything and you get to watch whatever you watch.
Yep.
You can forget everything.
Unless the studio decides to rip it out.
Yeah, and they do.
Yeah, you know,
And I
that's the
probably
thing,
still won't cancel because my wife just tweeted how much she hates dealing with 5 or 6 commercials per ad break on Hulu. You know, so I'll stick with Netflix.
I don't know.
Like, someone else is voicing that ridiculousness that is Hulu. Right.
Hulu is a great idea with the.
I feel like you're paying for ads with that thing. Yeah. Not to sidestep away from the Netflix discussion. I feel as though you're paying to watch ads on Hulu. Like,
well,
why?
You're paying for Hulu, and then they serve you ads. It's just like regular cable.
It's just hilarious that literally the Hulu model is also with if you have Comcast in an area and you want to watch their streaming services and you see less commercials on there. Like way less commercials through their own product.
I think Hulu has been gimped by people who own it anyway.
Oh no, it was gimped by NBC. Before NBC sold it over to Comcast. NBC was the whole issue with Hulu. Fox and the rest of them were looking at Fox and ABC were looking at making the model of pay, no ads, or I believe when they say limited ads, they were talking about one ad at the very beginning and done. Like, you know, one of those like intro ads and then roll through. And NBC didn't want to have that. They wanted to milk it as much as possible.
Well, they were still trying to be a profitable company at that point before they got the majority interest spot out.
And then when Comcast took it over, Comcast just didn't care about it, you know.
Well, they can't really do anything with it because it's not like it's theirs. It's like theirs and 2 other people's that they work with to support content on their own stuff at the same time.
But if 2 of your other partners are willing to say, okay, fine, let's just make it a paid model and see what happens. If it doesn't work, then fine, we'll close it, right? And you're like, I don't really care. I'm just going to focus on Xfinity. That's what really just guilted it. So the only good aspect of Hulu is that Hulu is at least try to find its own marketing shows. It's the biggest anime collection, and it has the biggest Latino and British shows on the web. That's pretty
and
much
also
it.
Criterion.
And Criterion.
Their partnership with Criterion.
I think the thing that's the problem is by the time Netflix, by the time Comcast had actually purchased Comcast, the whole thing, it kind of already was like a mess at Hulu. Hulu was already a giant mess at that point. And they probably looked at this and said, all right, we somewhat, because they only really own, I think, 51%, or like there's like a certain percentage they actually own of NBC. It's a controlling interest. But they're probably looking at that and saying, well, we'll just leave the other non-controlling percent deal with that. We don't want to bother. That's a mess. It's stupid. You guys built it wrong. You marketed it wrong, and it just doesn't make any sense for us to try and jump in there and spend money on it to try and fix something. When we have something over here, and the product model on this side works way better.
You see, the thing that really gets me on Hulu is this, right? NBC and all the other companies, Fox, that actually invested in Hulu in the first place, they're basically getting advertising from, their TV spots, right?
Yeah.
That's how they're getting your money. Now, if they decided that, we'll just do this as a pay subscription for anyone who wants to go back and just see like backdated episodes that we no longer show on TV, who wants to just go back and watch all the catalogs? That's added revenue to people who are already seeing your show.
You see, the problem is that you're talking about common sense, and it's not common because
back to the Netflix discussion.
I think the issue is now is that whole Hulu's been so badly branded out that they'd have to redo the whole thing again. Like they literally just have to do it again. Like it's at a point where listen, I'm saying before the Comcast purchase, this was already a stank on Hulu for so much that was going on with the ads, paying into it to still get ads, the delays on times to watch things and such, and just the catalog and just this hopping mess of just nonsense going on with it. So I mean, it's one of those things. It's gonna kind of, I think, always be the way it's gonna be until all three of them decide, all right, this is done, and they yank out of it. It's one of those type of things.
I believe for Hulu to survive, it needs to be spun off to its own company, and let them just do their thing. If they can manage it.
But then that turns into
no. Then just have deals with each individual company. Yeah, that's it, done. Because you're using controlling interest of. Remember, Hulu's actually 4 companies. ABC, Fox, NBC initially, and a hedge fund. The hedge fund was a silent partner in there. So, but anyway, moving back to Netflix. What do you guys think about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2? Because that first movie really pissed me off.
Well, no, tell us how you really feel.
Zhang Ziyi was such an annoying. I mean, the master had to die because of that foolishness that she did. I mean, hell.
No, it was a tragedy, and it was
tragedy. My ass, man.
Like heart-wrenching.
Why are you are getting mad at kung fu movies for their plot?
No, it's not that.
Yeah,
it's Zhang Ziyi. Zhang Ziyi, really, I didn't like her in that movie. Like, Chow Yun-fat, Michelle, what's her name again? Michelle Yeoh. There was that connection. I was like, Master, it's time for you to retire. Stay with Michelle Yeoh, live a good life. And then next minute, he just dies because Zhang Ziyi is just being very stupid. Stupid. Completely.
Like most.
And what is the moral of the story? Be very careful what students you have.
Exactly.
Like most martial, they haven't learned this since the '60s, dude. It's the same thing.
So anyway, guys, what do you guys think about that? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2 coming out directly on Netflix.
That's because it would have been direct to DVD at some point, anyways. I don't think that would have gotten released in the studios. So I'm released onto the theaters, anyways. So because it's been so long since the first one, and there's so many other movies that have done that style now, and it's interesting. I think it'll get some people to watch. It's another thing for Netflix users to watch, and helps further make that subscription valuable to them. But I guess it's cool that it's on there. It's nice extra movie to watch, I guess.
Well, and I also just think it's exciting seeing that on a platform like Netflix, you can take risks with older IP.
True.
Like, you're absolutely right, Warren. This is a movie that would never have made it in the traditional studio system.
DVD.
Well, and I don't think it ever would have gone direct to DVD because it probably would have been too expensive to do the way that producers would have wanted it to.
Well, when I kind of say direct, I kind of mean like it probably would have It probably would have been released in limited markets and hit on demand relatively faster. And then when I mean like on demand and Redbox, that type of like when I'm thinking old school direct to DVD. That
totally
really doesn't really exist. Only WWE does that. Now,
yeah, but Netflix has the capital film. But Netflix has the capital to do the film well, and then it just becomes a very long tail argument where it's another property that is exclusive to the Netflix platform that will hopefully encourage more subscriptions on Netflix or keep more subscriptions staying on Netflix. And if they continue to push content production and distribution, they're the one-stop shop. They can make some really compelling arguments for why the current movie studio system is not producing like it should be.
True, and also that might attract more, movie makers.
I think immediately it'll probably start another round of discussion because we keep hearing the rumors about HBO Go going a la carte or standalone.
HBO is tempting that.
Comcast is doing this. Sack of money.
Oh no, totally.
Money.
But they won't be able to fight it off forever, and HBO is maybe the only other company I think would have the ability to just flip a switch.
They would.
I mean, like Warner Brothers can't just flip a switch and then have an online web portal that everyone uses. HBO Go is already a fully featured ecosystem that they can just flip that switch, and at some point, you're absolutely right.
And who owns
HBO? They would still have to do something somewhere along with the cable, because remember the cable networks.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying it'll happen right away.
It's already started though. It's already started now. You can get only HBO on Comcast.
Yeah.
This is a package that for that.
Yeah, and they're anytime they feel like they're not getting any attention, they trot out the rumor, oh, we might go completely separate from cable, a la carte, blah blah blah. You know, like it'll happen eventually.
I think if they do something like that, that'll be for the markets that just can't get HBO outside of where Comcast can't reach, and it'll be one of those places where you can buy it there, but it'll be not maybe like $9.99 a month or something like that.
No. If when they go, they're gonna go full. Because remember when they released the app, it didn't take long before it was like, here's the app everywhere, take it. Yeah. So they're in that motion of like.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's also disruptive to a lot of the like. If you're gonna do that, you have a giant amount of Comcast satellite users that get their HBO Go subscription through.
It doesn't affect them though, because you're not paying for the app like the other people who are paying for that. Like for instance, I have HBO Go, right? Yeah. If they have an app for $9.99, I'm not gonna switch over because I have other things I also watch on Comcast. So that's the mentality.
But let's say they make that switch and decide to go fully on their own. That changes, and then they go away from that model. And we already have HBO Go, and now we're gonna have to pay for it.
No, I don't think they're gonna go away. I think they have both, but they're gonna offer the option of.
But then basically, that's what I just said. Is that they're gonna just offer it in places where people can't get HBO through Comcast.
No.
No. They're gonna offer it for people who are cutters. They're gonna say anyone. You know how you have to select.
That's what that means. That's what I mean by anybody that
who doesn't have Comcast. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's okay. Somebody could live next to them. They don't have it. They don't have Comcast.
Well, and the ultimate victory will be having Comcast broadband internet and then just paying for HBO on its own.
Still paying for Comcast regardless and they're already looking at pushing similar things like this too, which is kind of funny.
What else? Did you guys see any of the trailers? The Interstellar and 10 Commandments with Moses.
So I'm on Interstellar. I don't want to know anything else about that movie. I want to be completely blank slate when I sit my butt down in the theater.
Okay, let me tell you what happened in the trailer.
Sure, it's amazing. I can take my earbuds out, and you guys can give me just like a thumbs up when you're done talking about it.
I'm doing the exact same thing you are. I'm not paying attention to that as well. I'm just going to go see it and make up my mind about it.
Christopher Nolan had my money after I walked out of Inception, so I'm on board. I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
All right.
All right, but how about 10 Commandments? I don't want to know anything.
Any thoughts on 10 Commandments?
Watching it now.
What do you say?
I'm actually watching it now.
So useless. That's the one with Christian Bale and what's his name? I can't remember. Although the initial trailer had a lot of backlash for whitewashing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the main actors. But in this trailer, somebody else is not white. So it's.
I'm just upset that they're not using a digitally animated, revived Charlton Heston.
No, I'm not pissed that you're not using God, who was Ramesses again? The original Ramesses.
Oh man, I've forgotten his name, but the guy from.
So let it be written.
The King and I.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So are we worried that there's going to be another Noah? That's what I'm concerned about.
There already wasn't there? What's his face?
No, as in a flop. No, it won't be. You know why? Have you watched Noah?
Yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't.
Yeah, Noah is a movie where Aronofsky did not make up his mind to say, is it a religious movie or is it just my own retelling of Noah?
Well, to be fair, I think Aronofsky was also dealing, because we heard story after story after story about like the market research that was done and the focus groups and the way that they wanted to change the ending, and I think it was a combo of Aronofsky attempting to walk away from the religious angle of this story and not being able to fully extricate himself from that because of studio pressure.
Yeah, so
if you see Aronofsky's work, he doesn't have problems going spiritual. It's not like he's trying to make a completely secular film here.
You know, exactly, but the thing is that when he went spiritual in that movie, it felt very half-assed spiritual. Like to me, I was just like, just cut it out and just tell me that, you know what, you heard or you felt something and there was going to be a flood and boom, let's just go with it, you know, rather than you give me. I was like, I mean, it was well done as a movie, but it was that halfway point. I don't think this is. I don't. I'm not too sure. But from the trailer, it looks like they're adhering to a lot of things except one thing. Moses was a stammerer. No one has ever done that in a movie. Moses was a stammerer.
Yeah,
according,
but
according to all biblical,
is there a video out there for this already? Like a preview already for it?
the trailer, yeah.
Yeah. I can't find it online. Just send me the link if you can find it.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, I don't think this is the same as Noah, just because Noah was him playing, here or there kind of thing, and it didn't hit. It's called Exodus, Gods and Kings. Sorry, I called it Ten Commandments. I truly apologize because because like as soon as I saw, it, I was like Ten Commandments, man. That's just what's.
All right, so sorry.
I know where it would be if like we're in true Hollywood fashion, like 10 Commandments 2, 15 Commandments. They just write like a whole bunch of new ones. Wouldn't that be great? Like die harder, something.
Yeah, I remember the original Ten Commandments. I have the DVD box set here. That was just great viewing, just because of I loved what's his name again? God, I have to find his name. It's bugging me. I want to say Bolo Young, but he's not Bolo Young. Come on.
Bolo. Bolo's the man.
And Commandments.
Bolo. All you gotta do is tell Bolo to do something, and he goes and kills it.
Let's see.
We all need a Bolo in our lives.
1956 Ten Commandments. That was with Yul Brynner. Yes.
Oh, right. I should have known that.
Yeah, Yul Brynner. He was just epic in that movie. And Charles Heston, and all the overacting was great. It's great. It's great stuff.
It was a very different time in filmmaking, and it was one of the last great sort of presentational set piece films. So.
There was one scene where it was towards the end of the movie where Moses goes up the mountain, he comes down, and he sees Aaron like worshiping other gods, and the true epitome of overacting is like this. He sees Moses, he just throws it like that. Not like now in movies nowadays where you kind of casually down or you look a little style.
It would be an epic song as he throws it in slow motion.
Yeah, exactly. And it was dun 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 dun.
Oh, you remember the song?
Dude, I watched that thing so many times.
Yeah, same here.
So yeah, that was interesting and fun. But we'll see how it turns out. They're also remaking Ben-Hur.
Oh, weird. I didn't hear that one. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Ben-Hur.
Like some of those classic films, and this is what's so frustrating is like for some films like Alien and Exorcist, we can re-release those in theaters. We don't have to try and remake something that's a classic. And I know there are weird issues with licensing and rights and paying people who originally worked on the film and how all of the residual structures work. But when you turn around and you remake a film like that, or like The Omen, one of my all-time favorite movies. We're in October, talking about scary movies. I freaking love the Richard Donner version of The Omen
with that little scary kid, man. Whew.
Totally. I have never gotten to see that on the big screen. I've never gotten to see The Omen in a movie theater.
I'm scared.
But they remake it, and I don't think the remake is anywhere near as good as the original. Especially David Warner and Patrick Troughton. It's an amazing film. Why not give us a re-release on a few of these old classics? Because I think there are film fans out there where you could still make money on this thing, drum up buzz, and then when your remake comes out, you've got another sort of financial angle on what it is that you're producing, where a lot of people probably don't have a direct emotional attachment to this film if they're younger than we are. So
I think what it is,
but it's niche, right? Like look at Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's a cult classic almost every single Halloween. You have theaters that are dedicated to showing marathons of that, of that movie. But they're just like Rosemary's Baby too. It's almost seasonal. There's some places who would show old movies like that, but it's very niche.
I think the problem you run with movies like Ten Commandments what do you call it again? Ben-Hur is like you said, we are probably the last generation who saw that, and have any recollection to tie it. It's our parents, this is people, and the younger generation just would not sit down for 3 hours.
Oh God.
we remember this
I mean,
intermission
they'll
break.
sit down for 3 hours of The Dark Knight Rises, but
Yes, no. Those are two different types of 3 hours.
no, I'm kidding.
They
I'm
had a lot of
saying that The
talking
Dark
in
Knight
there.
Rises is really the same movie twice, and it could have been half as long. That's
No,
all
I
I'm saying.
agree. But remember,
Let's just make sure that then it's like if they cut it in half, to make sure they explain how the hell Batman got on the damn island. That scene pisses me off so bad. Oh my god.
he's Batman, man.
No.
Show
just
up.
And
no.
he becomes Batman at the beginning of the film, and he becomes Batman again halfway through the film.
Yeah, no.
Twice
All right,
the
the
Batman.
hilarious part about that whole thing is the fact that he shows up on the island, not even as Batman, it's Bruce Wayne talking to Catwoman randomly back in Gotham in a lockdown state for the last 4 months. No explanation why that happened. But then that I think in editing they figured out they screwed that up. And then what was the next scene? Him at the bridge with his logo on fire. Distraction. You didn't notice that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think he actually probably shot all that. It was just too long.
Yeah,
And they were
I'd
just-
actually be willing to say Nolan
and-
probably
and
has
Nolan just
another
went
3
like-
hours of movie on the
he's
cutting
like,
room floor.
I would have been fine
He's
with the extra
Batman.
15 minutes to explain that.
He's Batman. It's okay. We'll
Could have given us a montage at least. Come on.
Yeah,
true.
a montage. I'd have took the cheesy montage in the middle of it if they wanted.
But I agree. I don't think in Generation is willing to sit
Interstellar
down.
is 3 hours.
Yes, it is 3 hours, and
What
people
is
will
that?
sit down for that.
Finally, a movie that would be worth every penny. Just for
What's
the
gonna be
fact that
3
it's
hours?
3 hours.
Interstellar.
God damn.
Oh, I'm
3
looking at the
hours.
trailers now onto it. I don't know.
All right, you know
I don't know
what?
what to make of it.
Just stop, okay?
No, I've just seen the same thing 3 times. Don't know what to
All
make
right,
of it.
someone needs to get me.
Because Nolan doesn't like to show stuff. I mean, the only thing that he showed, the only movies he showed more in the trailer were Batman, just because it was Batman. Remember what is it called again? Inception. It was the same trailer recut 3 times with like maybe an extra 10 seconds of footage for all the Interstellar. It was just like an added 10 seconds of footage for all Interstellar. Inception trailers. He doesn't like to show much from his stuff. He's the only director I heard that uses when you come to read the script, you come to his house, leave your phone outside, and you read the whole thing there.
Nice.
Done. You know, he doesn't like leaks, which is why none of his stuff never actually, unless people are, spying and taking photos on
Right.
set or something like that. That's pretty much it altogether. But yeah, in terms of, Ben-Hur, I don't think anyone's going to watch the re-release. That movie was like 3.5 hours, maybe 4. I knew it was 4 hours, but it was long.
Which movie was this?
Ben-Hur.
Oh God.
It was long. It was very, very long. So, I mean, I almost bet that the new ones are probably 2.5 hours altogether. Just because.
Well, and also, isn't that just sort of a funny commentary on filmmaking, especially in a world post Lord of the Rings extended edition marathons in
oh my
theaters?
god! Have you watched
No.
the extended edition of Lord of the Rings? It's 4 hours, man.
Okay, so I was working at a movie theater when the 3rd one came out, and we did that. We did the marathon, all 3 films. The smell from that theater was revolting. There are not words to describe the sweat of 3 movies of people sitting in costumes, and how there was so much food container packaging. It was like mid-shin deep walking through that theater. That was actually the primary reason that convinced me to get out of being a movie theater projectionist. I didn't even have to clean the theater. It was so bad.
Wow.
This
Okay.
is for the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, dude. When they
Yeah.
they did the re-release of all 3 movies.
I still haven't seen those movies yet. At some point, I'll get to it.
They're fun.
When somebody says the word long, I'm like,
Lord of the Rings, it's long. But it's a solid story altogether. All right, guys. Anything else before we wrap up this video?
Yeah, Inherent Vice. Just so that preview, you guys should check it out.
What?
Inherent Vice. It's gonna be awesome.
Inherent Vice. Okay, all right. We'll check it out.
Yeah, you guys check it out. I didn't know. I just saw the preview and I'm like, it's a very kind of 60s, 70s kind of movies with kind of neon names and everything. Has Joaquin Phoenix in it, Josh Brolin, a few other stars in it. Reese Witherspoon, the dude from Boardwalk Empire, the black dude. What's his name again?
Oh, Chalky White.
Yeah, Chucky White. Whatever his the actor's name is. Yeah, no, it has a few characters in there, and they're all like, throws and tight pants and all kind of very 70s and 80s get-ups. It's pretty cool
All
stuff.
right, and I'll check it out. Oh yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is no longer in the running for the Sorcerer. What's his name again? Marvel's Sorcerer.
Doctor Strange?
Yes.
That would have been bad.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. But
that would have been bad.
all right. So yeah, let's announce our giveaway winner for last week. Since one person, of course, entered into the giveaway, and we have a mystery prize from Mr. Warren Bowman. If you could send us your favorite Ben Gates joke or image. And he sent one this is from Phone Arena. It was posted. A couple of photos showing the iPhone 6 says I bend, and the Zenfone 6 says I don't.
Oh, he went ASUS.
Yes. And then there was one from, it's all ASUS. It's like I bend and I flip altogether. So Juan Irvin, congratulations yet again.
What does he win?
So yeah, it's a mystery prize from.
It's a remote, and what does it control? We do not know. That's the mystery about it.
The mystery prize is not a remote.
I'm just kidding.
So Warren, what's
the
mystery
mystery is when you push this button, someone in the world will die.
Whoa.
Whoa. What movie was that from? There's a movie that had that.
Well, I mean, wasn't it like a Twilight Zone episode that they turned into?
There was a yeah. Ah, gosh. James.
Oh, that just dampened the mood.
What's he winning, Warren?
Oh, I had to find it. I just moved it around, but I have like a battery backpack, battery pack that I'm gonna send.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
It's one of the battery packs. I don't have it here, but it's the
a portable charging module.
Portable charging module.
Sweet. So
it's in my things over there that I need to reorganize and bring back over.
All right, so Juan Irvin, you win a portable charging module for telling us your I bend joke. So guys, you see, Juan won twice. You guys are slacking off. This week.
I mean, if you guys don't want us to give out free stuff, I guess we could just stop giving away free stuff.
Yes.
If that's what you want. But
this week, this is what we're giving away: a rival gaming mouse from SteelSeries. Right here.
Can I go in a competition for this one?
Sure. Do you have a question?
No. I mean, I want to win
that. Get away. So, and what question should we have this week? What? This makes one entertainment focused.
All right. Yeah, we haven't done any entertainment focused things. You need to write out in one sentence what the plot of the first Adam Sandler on Netflix film should be.
51st first dates.
No.
So your comment
with
for the
Waterboy. You can't use the.
Well, 51st dates would be the sequel. That'd be kind of cool.
51st dates.
So whatever we said does not apply.
Dating more dating harder.
So the question is, in one sentence, the title or the title, right?
Or the plot. You have to describe the plot in one sentence of what the first Adam Sandler Netflix.
God, woman, you still don't remember me?
All right, and you get to win the rival optical gaming mouse from SteelSeries. So that's it, guys. Very simple. So, guys, what can we expect from you next week? Starting off with you, Mr. Warren Bowman. Yes, I'm kicking off with you.
Why do you always kick off with me first on this? It's always me first. Am I on the right or left or something?
Right in the middle.
I honestly don't know. I don't ever like announcing what I'm gonna do ahead of time because it changes throughout the week over time.
Just give us a bucket list of stuff.
I got some phone reviews.
A bucket list of stuff would mean he's dying soon. So
yeah,
I don't want.
I finished saying it. I was like.
These are all the things I hope to accomplish by next week when I'll be dead.
Thanks, Anavon. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Well, thanks a lot.
So We'll let Warren stay quiet.
Alive.
Shenanigans or machinations will be over.
Actually,
He
before
doesn't
we
wanna
even
share,
start
he
that, so while Warren goes through process here, we have a bunch of questions in the Q&A or comments.
doesn't.
Interstellar,
Knock him out.
Lou Rod says Interstellar will be 3 hours.
Yeah, baby.
He also asked, did we watch Taken 3 trailer?
More takening.
You know what he did? I did.
It's called Took. Taking 3.
The tookening.
They killed his wife in this one.
Oh, that's a
Oh
bummer.
man,
That's
see,
really.
that's
bad.
why you never get back with a guy who constantly loses your kid.
Isn't it funny that Liam Neeson turned down James Bond because he didn't want to be pigeonholed as an action movie star? He's so damn good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he would have been an amazing James Bond. I just think it's one of those ultimate career ironies that now that he's a much older man than when he was offered James Bond, now he's doing a ton of action stuff.
Yeah. Joseph Hampton said, Yul Brynner, thank you.
Is there another James Bond movie come out anytime soon?
2016.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I
Is
haven't
it
been
the same
anything
guy?
last year.
Yeah, it's still the same. Still Daniel Craig. Phoenix no longer is Doctor Strange. Joseph Hampton, yes. And then The Rock will be in Baywatch.
Yeah, sexy time.
Yeah.
They're making that? Oh my god, are they really remaking that?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Right. That's right.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
A Baywatch movie, yes. Gonna be sexy.
Wait, it's a movie?
Yeah, I'm not talking about TV show.
Warren just snaps on the real ridiculousness of that.
Warren's like, oh, they're making a Baywatch TV show. Okay. Wait, whoa.
That's how I imagine this from now. Warren should be doing. I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay, cool. All right, so what do we have next week? Let's start with you, Juan, since I started with Warren and that didn't work out too well. So
we're going to be wrapping up some coverage on the LG G3 Vigor, the G3S, the mid-range phone, which I can't find in front of me right now. That's an awesome problem to have when you've got too many phones in your general vicinity. Then we also are going to be blitzing. I do have the camera review. It's an amazingly in-depth camera review on the Galaxy Alpha, so you can check that out, see how it compares with the Galaxy S5, the iPhone 6 Plus, a couple of the other flagship phones that we've got out there. And then I'm going back to mid-range devices because I've been playing with the Lumia 1320, which is an amazing amount of phone for under $300. And that's really some of the stuff that I've been most excited to talk about, where we start blurring the line between entry-level and mid-range. So all of that coverage should be coming out next week. It's going to be a ton of videos, but I think it'll be some really fun stuff.
Cool.
I'm taking a picture of one on the Galaxy Alpha right now. Click.
And how about you, Sam?
Oh, wait, no. Taking 3, the trailer. Whew.
Okay.
Man, sorry, man. What do I have coming up next week? More watching of Taking 3, man.
Wow.
Wow. Like Liam Neeson.
Is like the pretty much.
Yeah.
I'll call it that.
Okay. So I still have. So we did the card for the Club 3D guys, and that's out there. We have the system itself to basically do a walkthrough on exactly what we put into this amazing little system over here that I showed you guys last week. We have the docking station for the Pro 3. So that's the Surface Pro 3. That needs to be done. And what else? That's about it, really. That is about it. We have me. I can do a review on me.
You should review you.
Yeah,
I watched
you
that review.
should. Let's see how that works.
I might
God,
even
I
comment
forgot.
on that review.
I forgot, actually. We need to do a...
And speaking of that, have you guys seen one of our colleagues, MKBHD, and I think you guys might have known he might have broken his hand. Have you seen the updates of him talking about it? And it's been all in geek speak, and so he's been just like, broken hand unboxing. And he's done like, a broken hand patch, and he lists the patches that fix it, and he lists it in like patches you would see from software. It's just kind of funny.
That's awesome.
I finally hit level 20 on Destiny, like at 5 a.m. this morning.
Oh, you still played this morning, really?
I couldn't sleep. So now that I've hit level 20, I've used both attributes for my character. I am going to be doing a video, basically just highlighting the things I like about it and the things I'm not so crazy about on Destiny. So you guys should have that. You guys should look out for that as well.
All right, cool. And on my end, vacuums. Yes.
Cool.
I have a vacuum review coming up. That's coming up tomorrow. Samsung vacuum. I also have this little guy here, the Lumia 530. Should have the review later on today. This is the ultimate burner smartphone.
Totally.
It is the ultimate burner smartphone.
Anytime I watch a movie and I see someone using like a candy bar phone or a flip phone as a burner, I'm gonna call BS. It needs to be the Lumia 530.
530. It's 50
totally
bucks.
going with this drug deal. Hold on, let me get my phone. You know. Like,
Yeah, it's $50 on Cricket. T-Mobile is $79. I don't know why T-Mobile does that. It's kind of weird. But
well, same thing with the 630. It's 630 was 99 on
GoPhone
and then
and
150 on T-Mobile.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, it's pretty solid. I mean, literally, if you need a phone pronto, this is it. Like cheap. You don't have to stress yourself with anything, and it just works pretty well. So that review is going to be up. I have a speaker from Fugo, which is a waterproof, water-resistant speaker that actually kicks ass in some sound. So that will be going up next week, and I think that's pretty much it for now. Anyway, we'll see what turns up during the week, and of course, Mr. Warren Bowman.
I got nothing.
Just keep up with Warren, because I'm sure there will be regular updates on some sort of technology.
Updates. I have some phones and I have some headphones and stuff that I need to review. The reason I don't like to say anything is my schedule changes very often on what I put out. So what I say this today may or may not show up during the week. So
no. See, don't worry about that. Sam is the professional at that. He talked about doing the Can-Am Spider for 2 months.
No, the videos were done. We just didn't cut it. You know.
So I'm just saying that.
Look at that. He's like, hey man. It's done.
Hey man,
Warren, you're safe. You're cool.
No one can watch it. But hey.
You know, this bus kind of hurts that you're throwing me under right now.
No, I said you're
tracks all across the old back.
No, they threw me under the bus.
Say like this bus kind of hurts.
Hey.
All right.
So let me just put the highlights on this trailer, man.
You're still watching the
Oh my God.
This is my third time watching this.
Oh,
Sign us out.
Campaign.
No, I think it's time. We're ending it.
Yeah.
No. 2 hours.
Riveting, man. This is. And then the target flipped through the air like twice. How fast do you need to
We'll discuss it later. So anyway, guys, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys watching this video, and it's been long. And don't forget to subscribe to all the channel Gadget Guy, of course BW1 and Bored at Work, and also follow us on all the social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and what's the new one? Elo. Yes, Elo. And only Elo, because we ain't
Come find me on Elo, say hello. We'll have good times.
Okay,
maybe
all
eat
right.
some
Thank you very
Jello.
much. All right, stop. All right, thank you very much, guys.
Under my umbrella, Ella.
And always enjoy your entertainment.